Yo, fishing and incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense, the live streams that we do from time to time here on the Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I hope you guys and girls are warm and safe wherever you are tonight. Do a little live stream tonight. Try not to go overboard. You guys and girls know I got quite a cup collection. Rocking the polo cup tonight. The hat. Rocking the jacket. Shout out to Tumore Outdoors, aka the Shotgun King, aka I be seeing you rocking them polos. What's going on, man? I can't call it. Hope everybody having a good day. Want to say this before we get started. First off, hit the likes button as you come in. Make sure you sub to the channel, all that good stuff. I want to say that the channel is gaining momentum. We're starting to get people, more and more people starting to come to the channel. The message is starting to get out there. I appreciate everybody, whether you were able to watch me do a whole live, whether you're able to catch bits and pieces, or if you think enough of this content that you'll press on and give me the likes, even if you're in the middle of doing something and catch me later. I appreciate that. So let's get that out the way. Give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. Also, the nation is in a grip of a really powerful storm. Here at Iowa, knock on wood, we don't have no precipitation, but we are well below zero up here. Last night I think we got to about minus 40 again. We are well below zero. Dangerous wind chills out. To everybody who's in the path of this storm, do not take this storm for granted. Do not go out if you don't have to go out. I understand you may have to go to work. That can be understood. Just out for leisure. If you do not have to go out, stay indoors. It's not worth possibly being killed or stranded over. It is really cold. For those of you who've never been in this kind of weather, your face, hands, anything being exposed can get frostbite. It can be really bad. So, shout out to GunTube while we at it. GunTube is growing in stature. Regular gun guy, fat guy with guns. Billy at My Fly Fat. Man, I appreciate what y'all doing. Shout out to White Rambo and his wife, Shannon. Y'all make sure y'all go through there and show them some love. Just everybody, man. Make sure y'all show everybody some love. I want to send a special shout out to my brother, Well Dressed Tactical. That guy keeps me laughing every time we talk. Sometimes I'll be going through it and he'll call or I'll call him. That guy keeps me laughing every time we talk, man. So shout out to you, brother, Well Dressed Tactical. Definitely. Dr. T, Guns and Journey, everybody. Hickok 45. I saw his little video earlier about his AKs. Yeah, definitely, So, I'm going to have a little bit of gun talk. I ain't going to do nothing too strenuous. I'm going to try not to keep y'all more than 30 minutes. No longer than an hour. Because at 7 o'clock, the heavy hitters going to be coming. And I'm going to step aside and let the heavy hitters have it. I'm the appetizer. Like I said, this is the nutritional channel. This is the Brussels sprouts and cauliflower channel. And I'm cool with that. I play my position and I stay in my lane. And through this hard work and constantly just keeping it going, it's starting to bear fruit. So, oh, by the way, before I get started, I'm still learning how to work it. We all on Instagram, Alert Zone TV on Instagram, and I just got a TikTok. I don't know nothing about TikTok. My children gonna have to show me how to work this. So we're gonna be having content over there. I understand you can get away with a little bit more over there. So we'll see how all this work out. Um, all right, let's get into it. The other day, I posted a video in which I spoke about the Jamaica Estates attempted home invasion and how the owner said his gun jammed. There were some people that responded back to me in the comment section that was saying he didn't have one in the chamber. I didn't stare at the video that hard, I'll be honest. I did hear him say that he pulled the trigger and his gun jammed. That could be true that he didn't have nothing in the chamber. A lot of things could be true. The point of that video was I had showed my SD40. You guys and girls know we do it raw and uncut here. And I had bought that gun 10 years ago to be my home defense, and I carried it for a while. It was my... All right, we got Zulu Night up in here. Appreciate you for stopping through. I had bought that gun specifically for home defense and to take with me when I go on the road trips, in my personal vehicle. And for years, I never had an issue with it. I've had it over 10 years. Here, as the last year or so, I've been having issues of it jamming or not extracting properly or what have you. I haven't bought any updated parts like I need to. I didn't buy this gun so that I can jack up the trigger and everything. I just bought it specifically just to be for home defense, and if I'm going out to have a backup gun, if I'm leaving out of the state of Iowa. That's why I went back to the 9mm. The whole gist of that conversation was periodically your EDC and your home defense, you should check them. Because let's just say I didn't check my SD40 in a year or two. Alright, there he is, Mr. Well-Dressed. Let's just say I didn't check my firearm and I needed to use it like this guy, and I pulled the trigger and it jammed on me, or it didn't go bang. That would fall on me if we were victimized and I had the opportunity to fire, but I fired a gun that I trust, but that I don't actually go out and fire, that I don't actually go out and use. That's why I shared that with y'all. That's why I wanted everybody to know, hey, if I have a hiccup with a gun, you might not have a hiccup with it. If I have a hiccup with a gun, I want everybody to see it. That way, we can, you might come across this gun, or you might have one, because I've had people say they've never had an issue with theirs. I understand in mass-produced products, sometimes quality control, you're going to get a, here and there, a bad one. Okay. Yeah, like I said, look. I've had the gun for over 10 years. So far, I've never had to pull it on anybody. It has served a good purpose. I periodically like to cycle my EDCs and my home defense. I had an issue with it, so I just thought that I would make it public. Hey, I'm having an issue. You guys and girls see me out there shooting it. Because I want to always think about people that's new to firearms. I know sometimes for some people, y'all been around guns like I have over 30 years. Some people are new to firearms. I don't want to give them a false sense of what they see on TV. What I mean by that is movies and stuff like that. So that's why I'm raw and I'm uncut. And if I have a jam, I have a problem, I don't mind showing you guys and girls, because y'all help me. I'm gonna be honest, I'm lazy when it comes to putting guns together and taking them loose and all that. I prefer to take it to the gunsmith. I ain't gonna lie. That's probably why I've never done no serious upgrades to none of the firearms that I own. I'll just go take it to the gunsmith. With that being said, I still think that was a good example of what can happen if you don't check your firearm. And let's just say this guy didn't have a round in the chamber. Well, that tells you he probably don't go to the range a lot. Even if he decided not to keep around in the chamber, but he heard a bump in the night. When he heard a bump in the night, if he jumped up with his gun, he should have put a round in the chamber if he don't have one. Like I said, if it's a lie, he told it. According to this guy, he pulled the trigger and the gun jammed. You know, that can be subjective to anybody, you know what I mean? But I will say this. I really appreciate everybody that chimed in and that is chiming in on that video. Also, the videos that I did about the weapons lights and the other video I posted yesterday, I went in and fixed the comment section. I'm still learning this YouTube studio stuff, but YouTube like to do this. When you post certain videos, they like to try and disable the comments, and they want you to jump through hoops. I feel no shame in nothing I've ever posted on this channel. If every gun I ever bought jammed on me, I would show you guys. And you guys can laugh at me and make fun of me, and I would be okay with it. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be a teaching moment when I go out there and I fire, what have you. So, but yeah, I'm back to the SD9. Somebody told me to get a USP. Save up and get a USP. Well, I do have a P30L with the compensator on it. You guys and girls have seen that. I would go get it and show it, but I'm going live, so you know how YouTube is about all that stuff when you're doing it live. So I do have other options that is just as reliable. The main thing is I always take this in consideration, and I want new shooters to take this in consideration. Your EDC, your home defense, your main EDC, your main home defense don't have to be a $2,000 or $3,000 gun. Because understand something. If you got to pull that firearm and you got to put somebody down, they're going to take it from you. They're going to take it. They're going to say we got to do an investigation. They're going to take your gun. They're going to go shoot your gun. They're going to take those casings, those bullets, and they're going to run them through their automated system to see if they can find out if that gun ever been used in another crime. Depending on how nice and beautiful that gun is, you might not get it back. They'll play the little DA game. They'll play the little game of it came up missing or we gonna have to keep it. They'll play that little game, you know. Being a New Orleanian, for everybody who don't know, the Beretta 92. Oh man, appreciate you. I'm glad you was able to catch me. Alright, shout out to Austin, Texas. Oh, by the way, I had somebody comment on me, send me a message from Canada. Shout out to Canada. That's why I say this is a worldwide movement, man. As this channel grow and things become more readily available, I'm going to start branching out a little bit more. You're going to see me probably hitting some other countries and things like that. And hitting some other states. You guys and girls going to see me on some other channels. Doing some videos, doing some collabs and stuff like that. You know, we got a lot planned for the channel. We got a lot coming. But yeah, I'm glad you was able to catch me live. But I want everybody to, like I was saying, the 92, we call them Berettas, the Beretta 92. Back in the days when that gun first came out in New Orleans, NOPD would take them guns from people and they wouldn't give it back to them. And I'm talking about legally owned guns. They would play them little games of, well, it came up missing out the evidence room. You got to file a complaint. You got to file a report. They make you jump through so many hoops. So, not saying that I don't carry my Canon TP9 Elite Combat Executive. They don't make it anymore. It's one of them ones that if you can get your hands on one, you can buy probably every Canon out there. The Elite Combat Executive and the Elite Combat is probably the two hardest to find. Nevertheless, I carry my Executive from time to time. Usually when I assume I'm going to be in somewhere where I probably won't need it. But I won't carry it every day. Just because there's a possibility I might not get it back. Excuse me. Also, in today's world of firearms, man, you got a whole lot of options that don't cost a whole lot of money now. I'm seeing the videos from SHOT Show. Boy, PSA. I don't know how. Well, you guys and girls know I got a hybrid. I had to hybrid my damn AK. But PSA, if they put out good quality stuff, man, PSA going they coming. They coming. They gonna put a lot of people in bad positions. A lot of these companies, man, like I said, for those of you who new to firearms, y'all might not know. This is the golden age of firearms where for $500 you can buy guns that'll run forever, that's optic ready, that's what they call modular. You can do all kind of, man, it's a beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day to be able to be legally armed. I'm telling you, this is the time. Yeah, I'm seeing PSA got look like they're coming out with a version of a 2011 this year. I don't know the name of it, but definitely, you know, SAR. So my understanding is SAR didn't change their name again to something else, but they still SAR. It's SAR something, but SAR, man, everybody coming. So this is the golden age of firearm. You can buy something to protect yourself, and it won't cost you an arm and a leg. But I showed the SD940 because I had issues with it. Shout out to everybody else, like I said, that have one. Some people, they had issues and they got rid of it. Some people said that the polished the ramp. Somebody even told me about me having FMJs because I had FMJs in the mag. I do have hollow points. Sometimes it just depends. Sometimes I go and shoot hollow points. Sometimes I shoot FMJs. You know, it just depends. But I want everybody to know that commented on that video. I appreciate y'all feedback. I did not take nothing personal. That's what this is about. That's what GunTube is about. GunTube is a platform for all of us who love firearms, or for people who want to be legally armed, but they want to learn the right way, and they want to talk to people that really have their best interests at heart, not people on the news. When they show these stories on the news about people getting legally armed, they always make it seem like you angry because you're buying a gun. A couple years back, you had CBS 60 Minutes and all these other programs talking about the rise of black gun ownership and anger and all this other crap, and then the rise of gun ownership across the country. And it's though basically to say, well, if you go and buy a firearm to protect yourself, it's because you angry. And no, there's multiple reasons for firearms. The number one reason is to protect yourself. People want to hunt with them. Some people go skeet shoot and what have you and shit. Sometimes they good stress relievers. If I lived out in the country where I can go and shoot and didn't have the police called on me, I can tell you plenty of times I've been in my backyard shooting. Yeah, what's going on? Appreciate you for stopping through here. So, you know, look, you're new to the firearms. Don't let the mainstream media talk you out of getting something to protect yourself, because that's the way they narrate these stories. Like people that own a firearm is some kind of a crazy maniacs or what have you. Like, I don't want to go overboard with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to just mention it. You guys and girls may or may not have heard that somebody else was shot in Minnesota today during these ICE protests or what have you. And I don't know enough of the information, so I'm not going to even go down that rabbit hole. But they said he was registered to carry a firearm and he had a permit or whatever. Now you watch and see how that's going to get spent around to this is why we got to go after guns. You just watch and see. I mean, it's crazy out here. You watch and see. Or people who's been against them gonna get out there and tell you go get one now. It's just that was a crazy situation. Like I said, I heard about it. I don't know a lot about the details, but just things like that. Get out here and get legally armed. Learn that firearm. Learn those firearms. Learn the laws. That's the two most things people, especially that's never been around guns, have to learn. The laws and how to work those firearms. If you do not do both of those, you're heading for trouble. You're heading for trouble. I'm telling you. Um, you can definitely wind up getting yourself in a lot of trouble. You know, like I said, I did the video about the guy in Memphis who followed the criminal outside of his apartment and then shot the guy and killed him. You let him leave out. You can't follow that man. You might don't like that he victimized you, but this is stuff like this you need to know. I mean, then he's trying to hang on, but he's never been in no trouble, and he was minding his business. You let the guy leave, forget it. You're going to jail. So everybody, you know, but in other news, you know, just I see Glock came out with the Glock Gen 6. Any Glockies in here? What y'all think about that Gen 6? I don't know enough about Glock to speak on it, but we got any Glockies in here that got the Gen 6 already? What do you think about it? Is it better than the first 5 gens, or is it worse? Any Glockies in here? For those of you who don't know, there's certain people that all they buy is Glocks, so I call them Glockies. My brother Eisen's Tactical was a Glockie until he moved to Louisiana. Now that he out of California, you got the Glock 17 Gen 6. You love it? Okay. You know what? Of all the Glocks, I think that's the one. Eventually, sometime this year, I'm actually gonna get me one. I want one that's red dot ready, because I want to put a dot on it. Probably a green, but I won't put me an optic on it. You know, like I said, I don't hate Glock. I'm not the biggest Glock fan. I know everybody like what they like, but I was just wondering, you know, maybe I go down to the gun store and I get a chance and see if they'll loan me one to shoot on the channel and see how good it works. Does it give you the Glock knuckle? Did they fix that little issue? Anybody that got the Glock the Generation 6, did they fix that? Or can you still feel the difference? I don't shoot them enough to know about that Glock knuckle, although I've seen the calluses and stuff from it. Yeah. So yeah, you know, like I said, next year, 2027, I'm going to start making my arrangements here this week to see how we can get the SHOT Show. So you guys and girls can have SHOT Show, the Alert Zone edition, to look at some of the new stuff that's coming out. They fixed the Glock knuckle. You got to get one. Okay. Yeah, like I said, that Glock knuckle, the SD9 VE, my understanding was a Glock clone, and I've never had that issue, but yeah, I know several people showed me these calluses real bad, man, and I was like, my goodness, you know. And probably 43X MOS, I might get one of those, just to have something small and compact. But then again, you know, I do have the RXM. The RXM is lovely. It's lovely. I don't care. If you decide you don't want a 19 or 43X, get your RXM. Man, I love that RXM. I love that Ruger firearm. To me, Ruger has been a consistent company that a lot of people don't too much bring up. Now that Ruger PCC, what they call it, I didn't care for it. I don't like the way it looks. It's ugly to me. But as far as reliability, I've never really heard nobody say anything bad about Ruger, you know. You guys and girls know Big Ugly is a Ruger, and I love it. I love that, you know, so Ruger is solid. Yeah, I mean, it's not might not be the preferred brand, but it's a solid brand if you get your hands on one. As far as I've ever known, back 30 plus years, I've never heard nobody say anything bad about a Ruger. You know, Taurus, it took a long time for Taurus to get their act back together. Now, you guys and girls know I love Taurus revolvers. All 3 of my revolvers is Taurus. Um, but that G2 series, G2, G3, I don't know nothing about the fours. But that G2 series put them on the map. Like I said, out of all the guns I own, that gun has probably been the gun that has surprised me the most, because I did not expect that gun to be that reliable and that shootable. For $200 and something, and it was a semi-automatic Taurus, I did not expect that gun to be like that. What's going on, Ronnie? I'm doing good, man. I hope you are being safe out there, man. Hope you're being safe. I hope everybody is indoors, man. It's bad. It's cold out there. We definitely in the minuses up here. We about minus 30 outside right now. Minus 25, minus 30. So okay. Yep. But yeah, like I was saying, Ruger is a solid one. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be into all this mess over with, man. I'm gonna be home to all this mess over with. But yeah, man, Ruger is a solid company. Dentaurus, yeah, with that G2 series, G2, G3. For people that's new to firearms, if you want to buy something just to protect yourself, I'll go out on a limb and say I think I can stand behind the G2C or the G2 full size and the G3. Only thing about it, I don't like the finish. It's a cheap finish, but of course, it's a $200 and something gun. But as far as functionality and reliability, with the exception of the day I had them bulky gloves on, excuse me, and I'm not sure if it was me or if it was the gun. Yeah, man, that G2, G3, man, I was very surprised. Like I said, I went and brought the Pro Mag extended. You guys know you taking a chance when you buy an extended Pro Mag. Off camera, every time I run it, I've never had a jam with that mag in it. The YouTube compliant mag, you know what we mean by that. With the mag in it, or with the factory mags, I've never had an issue with that gun. And I just knew. That's why I didn't want to buy it right away. When I heard the frenzy about it, I said, I ain't buying that shit. I'm gonna go buy that, and it ain't gonna run. It's a Taurus. It's gonna let me down. I'll tell you, knock on wood, man. I don't know nobody that owns that gun, the G2 or the G3. I haven't heard much about the 4. I don't know nobody that owns that gun that's disappointed in it. It just runs, man. It just runs. So anybody from Taurus, if you ever see this video, y'all knocked it out the park. Y'all definitely knocked it out the park with that one, you know. And Canik, of course. You guys and girls know how I feel about Canik. You can't beat a Canik when it comes to reliability. Now, let me make this clear. I know a lot of times we look at the gun reviews. You have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 round reviews, and that's good. But people who shoot a lot are people who are in very dangerous situations all the time. Let's say you're an armed guard or whatever. But for the average everyday person, you'll never run through 500 rounds in a lifetime. The average everyday person, no matter what we tell them on these channels, is not going to go to the range every other month and run that gun 100 or 200 rounds through it. Most people will buy a gun. They'll go to the range if you can get them to go to the range. They'll shoot it once or twice and that's it. They won't ever go back. They'll carry that gun with them everywhere, under the assumption that it's going to always work. And in their mind, if they got to pull it, nothing's going to go wrong. And that's just that. So that's why I say, the 1,000 round reviews is good, but it's not necessary to buy a pistol. So I don't want nobody to go and buy a pistol based on 1,000 round review if you know good and well you ain't going to no damn shooting range. Don't waste your money. I had somebody tell me, because I spoke well of Taurus revolvers, about the Honest Outlaw had one and he was doing 1,000 round review and he gave out on him or something. I got 2 plates, 13 screws in my arm. I got damage up here. I had to get my elbow open. I got kind of like a stem inside of one of my tendons, one of my ligaments to keep me and my nerve from collapsing. And and so I'm mindful of that. So I got a 357 snub nose. I got a 38 snub nose, and I got a 454. I know good and well I ain't running no 1,000 rounds through no 454. That's crazy. I'm not gonna even, first off, I ain't spending that much on the ammunition. I bought a box of 20 for that 454. I think I paid almost $50 for 20 rounds. Number two, man, my armor been a fell off. That's too much for me. It's like them dudes that got them Smith & Wesson 500s. Well-dressed tactical if you in the building. You ain't gonna run 1,000 rounds through no Smith & Wesson 500 unless you're crazy and out of your mind. You might run 1,000 rounds through there letting other people shoot it, but you ain't gonna do it. So it's just stuff like that. Like I said, the average person ain't gonna burn through that much ammunition because they don't have time or they don't have the desire. But what's good about the channels is we just send people in the direction and at least give them a guide to go by. But I've never seen nobody buy a gun and say, well, I'm not buying it because I saw a 1,000-round review and it ain't no good. Now, I've seen people say, hey, I saw first shots, or I saw somebody do an unboxing and shoot this particular gun, or several people, and all it did was jam. Yeah. Yeah, like High Point, like Intratec. Yeah, you right about that. Oh, you said that is that in Spanish or Creole? I can't speak Creole. That would look like you said that in. But yeah, like I said, it just depends on what you like. With the internet, with GunTube, you guys and girls got. Oh, okay. Salat. Oh. Well, with the internet, you guys and girls got a study guide that y'all can go by, and at least y'all know, okay, let me look at this, and that. Now, I still say this. Believe it or not, you got GunTube, and GunTube, I was looking at Hickok 45 earlier. Shit, he got 8 million people subbed to that channel. Still the biggest seller. All right, we got California in the house. Give me just a second. I'll bring that up. No, I haven't found any Fowler. Usually I got the okay, Pikel Tech P15. Yeah, I haven't fired any of those rounds yet. Usually I'm just running the Winchesters in it. I do have some other 9mm ammunition. I was cleaning the safe out the other day that I found. The zombie killers and all that stuff. The zombie killer, like I said, but yeah. California, we got California in the house. Okay, 50 grain that moves 2,000 feet per second. Hell yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, we got California in the house. I definitely want California to come up with some kind of a reciprocity program. I see they easing towards it. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're a member of, I think, 4 different types of gun organizations out there, you can apply for it. They haven't bent all the way and said, okay, we're going to do a reciprocity. You just got to file for out of state. Hopefully we get there. Sometimes you got to move little bit by little bit. But, excuse me, I believe we're supposed to have national reciprocity. I don't even think we should have to worry about state. Virginia. Okay. Yeah, you know what? In Virginia, I see what's going on with that. What's a Spanberger? Yeah, Spanberger. say this. This is what we did in the state of Iowa. A couple years ago, there was okay, about Caltech, yeah, I'll get to that in just a minute. Let me address this Virginia thing. What we did here in the state of Iowa, because the Republicans basically have a super duper majority here, to keep them from ever coming after the Second Amendment, a couple years ago, they put it on the ballot to put it into the state's constitution. So we, the voters, went out and voted and got it all on the ballot. That way they didn't have to do an executive order that somebody could come in and remove. Now, I don't want to get into the whole Republican-Democrat thing because you guys and girls know I told you the Second Amendment, when it comes to politicians, is just a football. It's just a leverage. That's all it is. Some of them believe in it, some of them don't. It's just a leverage. But what's about to happen in Virginia is really bad. As a matter of fact, like I said yesterday, I saw that video and I posted about that when I talked about the McCloskeys. All right, got Waterloo in the building. Basically, the Second Amendment, I don't care where you come from in this country. Yeah, I don't care where you come from in this country. We got to make the Second Amendment blind. You know what? When I came to Iowa, I was only supposed to stay here temporary. But some doors got open. I had some things going on, and I wound up staying. And the longer I stayed, I just stayed, and I'll tell you this winter time make me know I'm getting too old for this shit. I got Louisiana on my mind. At least in the winter. At least in the winter, man. I got going back home in the winter on my mind, man. This winter shit it then got old. Especially since I broke my arm in half. I can feel it. Yeah, that storm, man. That storm is gonna be bad. And you're in Maryland, so for those of you who don't know in the chat, I've been to 46 out of 48 continental U.S. states. I've been to Canada. I've been to Mexico. I've been out to Maryland. Maryland is one of them places where it's the same state, but it's two states. You got the Eastern Shore, and then you got, I don't know if y'all call it the Western Shore, but I'll just say the side of I-95. And then when you cross the Bay Bridge, when you cross the Bay Bridge, man, that's one of the most beautiful sights right there. When you go Highway 50 and you leaving out of off 95 and you going Highway 50 out to the Eastern Shore, man, that's one of the most beautiful doggone views, especially when it's not raining and cold out there and people out there boating. Man, it's one of the most beautiful views. Like I said, I've been out all over Maryland. That's the way to get up to New York, to get around the tolls. We used to take 50 and go across through the Bay Bridge to Annapolis and all that, and then run the back roads. And I've been to Baltimore. Baltimore, Jessup. Jessup is where I used to go to that, Giant Foods out there in Jessup? Right there, Jessup got that damn TA truck stop, boy. That's a wild place. Yeah, I done got around. I'm trying to think the name of this damn town. Might take a minute for it to come to me. So there's this seafood company called H&M Bay. Out on the Maryland Eastern Shore, they have a warehouse that we used to go to, and you deliver there, and you pick up the rest of your load, and then you go across the country or what have you. But yeah, going up 50 and 301, we used to run that up to Delaware. And then cross the Delaware Bridge and take, was that 295 all the way around up to back to 95 and take the Gatos and the Verrazano and the Brooklyn Queens Expressway to get out to Long Island. That was the way to get around a lot of them damn tolls, boy, because when you're in a semi, that stuff costs. Oh my goodness. That drive depends on what time of the year it is, what time of the day you decide to do it. For those of you who've never been to the DMV area, let me say this. I don't know how the hell y'all like people in New York, people in LA. It's going good. It's going good. Y'all like people in New York. Y'all like people in LA. Y'all people like in Austin, Texas. Y'all sit in traffic all damn day. Y'all sit in traffic all damn day out there. It's one of them places where if you don't know your way around, you can be stuck in a lot of traffic, especially I-95. Now, one thing about the DMV area is you got a 695, 495, 195, 895. So you got a whole bunch of different freeways you can use to get around. You just got to know your way around, you know. Yeah, I've been all through that, man. I've been all through that. When you leave Richmond and you head 95 north, oh yeah, you about to be, boy, you about to be busy. You about to be busy. But yeah, I've been to Baltimore. What is that? You know what? The last 10 years. You know what? So back in 03 was the first time I went through Austin. And the more I started running through there, Austin, Texas used to be, you come through there at 3 in the morning and be in a traffic jam. Well, it got so bad that they built that toll road that goes around. If you're heading to San Antonio and you don't want to sit in Austin traffic, you take that toll road and it brings you out on Interstate 10 over there. And then you head back west to San Antonio. But I remember them nights, man, running from DFW Airport. I used to run down there to Laredo. UPS from Air Freight. Man, that was a hell of a drive, man. You get to Austin and you don't know whether to take the lower level or whether to take the upper level. For people who don't know, when you get to Austin downtown, Interstate 35 goes from you got a lower level and you got an upper level. You have to be hollering on the CV back then to see is there any wrecks through here so you can figure out which level to take. But yeah, the DMV, chances are, you name it, yeah, 35 is crazy. You ever been through, hell yeah, I've been through Charlotte. Hell yeah, hell, I used to deliver to U.S. Foods in Charlotte. If you take 77, like towards Statesville, and the name of the street escapes me. Yeah, you know what? That's a good question you asked. Having ammo is more important than having a lot of guns. I think a lot of ammunition is more important. I've done, to me, what I think is a bare minimum of what you should have. But having a gun with no ammo is even worse. So yeah, I believe personally, having more ammo than guns, especially the guns you're gonna carry the most. Let's just say you decide you want to carry a 22 long rifle. You should have plenty of that. Say you're gonna carry a 940, whatever. Yeah, because you can have one gun or 2,000 rounds and you can be fine. You can have 10 guns with 100 rounds and you're gonna be in trouble. So yeah, I think it's better to have more ammo. Yeah. Now, like I said, there's a couple guns I have. I don't shoot much. so I don't have a lot of ammo for it. Really and truly, I don't carry them like that. Like my 38 special, my 357, my 454, my revolvers. I don't have a lot of ammo for them because I don't carry them that much. I don't shoot them that much. But I've seen, for whatever reason, to have more 9mm than any other gun caliber I have, so I have more 9mm ammo than anything. But yeah, I don't. If you're gonna buy a gun, like I said, then there's a thing of some people collect and some people buy to have multiple options. It depends on what you're buying guns for. I do it for both. I want multiple options, but I want to collect too. Just because I like guns. This is just something I like. I kind of have a compulsion of buying things that I really like. Yeah, you're right about that. A Gila Interceptor. Yeah. Like, you guys, for that's new to the channel, see my Ralph Lauren cup. Rocking the jacket, rocking the hat. I love Ralph Lauren. You guys and girls have seen my shorts of a polo and a pistol. I love video games. Yeah, I love video games. I have quite a video game collection. I love cups. I got quite a cup collection. Just things that I really like, I collect. You guys and girls see my starter jacket collection. So, yeah, man. Like I said, it's just better. It just depends on what you're getting armed for. That's the main thing I can say. And also reiterate that question. If you're buying guns to protect yourself, yeah, really and truly, you got needs and you got wants. 9mm, 5.56, 300. Yeah. That's the thing. I got plenty of. When I did my oh yeah, okay, you're Glocky. You what I call a Glocky. Look, the reason I started calling people Glockies is when this whole gun tube thing first started and started becoming real popular. I want to say before the pandemic. What's my favorite rifle? I had a 300 Blackout. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get that Gen 6. I just started calling people Glockies because I know a lot of guys, when they started doing gun tube, they used to get offended. And they used to make their little comments about people who make fun of them because they buy a Glock. But Glock is like a Tonka truck. When you pick it up and pull the trigger, it's going to go bang. Okay, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I tell you what, though. My favorite rifle, I haven't had the chance to get it down there. You guys and girls saw my 300 Blackout. You saw the video. If you haven't, go back and watch it. My 300 Blackout died on me. That was the gun, and still is the gun, I have the most hopes for. Now, I'll tell you guys and girls the story. If you haven't heard it, I'll tell it again. There was a really good brand of a 300 Blackout, and instead of buying it when I saw it, I BS'd, and I told one of my coworkers, and he went and got it. He sold me the barrel because he converted it to a 5.56. Well, the pandemic hit, and I got stuck buying a kit for the gun. And, well, I went to go shoot it. The video is posted on here on this channel. Just got to go through the archives. Okay, they fixed the G6. That's good. But yeah, and it died on me. So the barrel length, I think it's the 16-inch barrel. Yeah, it's the 16-inch. I got plenty of 300 Blackout. I got what I deserve. I'm definitely. I like my 300 Blackout. And my 3 guns and run, I grabbed my AK-47 because I'm from New Orleans and AK is, I guess that's just a bias thing of having an AK. But I love my 300. When that gun did perform my 300 blackout, I loved shooting. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna have some work done to it and get it up to par. And you guys and girls, y'all stick around to the channel. You'll see. I don't have no issues showing y'all what's going on with my firearms. Like I said, I learned a lot from y'all. Okay. Check out the Glock. Gen 6, yeah. You know what? Oh, Knight's Armament. There is one build that I plan on getting. OWR ornament. Big Dre 357. I know he builds guns. I'm gonna get me one from him. I shot one of his 300 blackouts at Arm 5. My goodness. It was suppressed. It was all dressed up. My goodness, man. It was like shooting a 22 long rifle, but it was 300 blackout. I mean, there wasn't a... my goodness. My goodness is all I can say. It was very, very, yeah. My goodness. Now I'm still learning something about. I don't own any suppressors, but I guess I'm gonna go ahead on and eventually get me a couple. I want to get one for my CZ Scorpion. Now subsonic and all, I don't know the difference in these ammunitions. Was it supersonic and subsonic or whatever? I don't know the difference. All I do is buy ammunition and damn shoot. But I am going to do my research about what's the best rounds to run through a suppressor, because I want to put a suppressor on my CZ Scorpion. Eventually I'm going to dress it up. I'm going to put a weapons light on it. And put me a good, maybe a Vortex or something sight on it. Higher grains or subs. Okay. But yeah, we're in the golden age of firearms, as I tell everybody, man. And the fact that we able to share this together. Okay, 147 and 220 to quieter with cans. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Like I said, it's something. Look, I'm still evolving with a lot of this stuff. I never claimed to know everything. And that's why we do these lives. That's why I drop the videos, and I try my best. I'm going to go back through my videos and make sure the comments is enabled, because I read everybody's comments. Because I want to know what the feedback is. If you see something or you know something I may not know, so you guys and girls can help me out. So yeah, this is a teaching and learning thing. And I'm going through the stages. Yeah, man, you know what? My AK, well, if you go to my community tab, I posted a picture of my AK before I damn busted it. And, oh man, the story about that I'll tell you in the Reader's Digest version. I was sitting down shooting it, because at this particular range I was shooting at, I couldn't stand up because some idiot built his house at the end of a gun range. So you had to sit down and shoot rifles. Well, I'm shooting, and I'm just going off, but I'm leaning. I had the drum in there. I'm leaning on the table, and the gun don't have no room to recoil because I'm holding it so tight. I didn't notice that. I stopped shooting for something. When I grabbed it and picked it back up, the gun felt like almost like it was flexing. I fired it under round and it felt flexing. So I dropped the mag, I unloaded it, and I noticed the damn gun had already started cracking and started breaking apart, man. And then the pandemic hit. And then Joe Biden banned parts and stuff coming from Russia, man. And it screwed me over when he banned the parts being imported. So it stayed in the closet, man, for I don't know how long, and I just got tired of it being there. And so I just decided, let me go ahead on and see if I can get something done to it. And it's all Frankenstein, so part of it is PSA, But I do intend on getting me maybe 1 or 2 more AKs. So yeah. Uh, but I'm appreciating you guys and girls being along on this journey with me. You know. Also, uh, I don't. I'm kind of torn between our first firearm giveaway being either a G2C or a 43X. And the reason I say possibly a 43X is, or maybe I may pick something else, is I don't want somebody to win in a restricted state where it's 10 rounds or less and I can't send them a G2. So maybe I might do like a G2 or a Security 9 or something like that from Ruger. Just something on our first giveaway, something small, but just to show the appreciation or what have you. As I told you guys and girls, I'm working on some stuff, so it'll be a way you can get into it and all that. Yeah, that's definitely the business there. I can't speak that. Z-Pap, okay. Yeah, man, you know what? We all get a Z-Pap. But yeah, like I said, I got a new gun shop I'm gonna be working with. When I get the opportunity, I'm gonna go down there and go visit them. We had a couple of phone conversations, and maybe we working on some that he can do some sponsors on the channel and let me review some of the used firearms that they get their hands on. Greetings from Turkey, brother. How are you? Oh, I'm doing fine. We all in Turkey. Oh, okay, that's what you posted because it was in Turkish language and I couldn't speak that. That's why I was like, oh, I can't read that, so I ain't even gonna try. But we appreciate you for tuning in. It's wild. Like I said, we've had some people from Iran. We've had some Iraqis. I think a couple Moroccans. I know we've been hit up from Cuba, Brazil, people in Mexico. I mean, we're a worldwide movement for a reason. You know, so I would say this before I get out of here. Wherever you from on this planet, when you come here to America, you go through the legal process and you are able to be legally armed. Practice your Second Amendment rights. I don't care what you do in your home country. When you here, get you something to protect yourself. Period, point blank. Don't let nobody shame you into, well, you don't need a gun back in my country. Well, you ain't in your country. You here. You make sure you got that thing on you because you'll never know when you're going to need it. Do I have a CZ? The only CZ I have is the Scorpion. I'm planning on getting the, was it the P10? I think it is, but I want the full size. Optic ready. Oh, I love my Scorpion, man. I think CZ, I've shot a couple CZs, so I've been at the range. Wait, y'all hold on 1 second. Give me just a second. Sorry about that, everybody. I've shot a couple CZs. Larson 380 is no good. Hey, I'll get to that in just a minute. No, I was talking about Ruger. But yeah, I've shot a couple CZs. So for those of you who never been to a gun range, if you see something somebody else shooting, you interested, if you go up to them, more than likely they gonna let you shoot that gun. I've very seldomly seen people refuse to let somebody shoot their firearm. And that's how I've been able to shoot CZs. I've shot the P365. Definitely. So, but I love them CZs run smooth. I like them. I like them. I would love to get the Shadow and the one with the blue. Was that the Tactical Sport 2? And the one with the orange? Was it just? You guys know which ones I'm talking about. The full size CZs. I would love to do that. The Shadow 2, yeah. And the TS, the Lawson 380 is no good. Oh man, let me tell you something. Since you brought up Larson, that was the first gun I ever fired, but it was a 25. For those of you who remember, old enough to remember the little chrome Larson 25s, that was the first gun I ever shot. My uncle, rest his soul, my Uncle Handy let me shoot his, back when they used to let us shoot in New Orleans for New Year's. He let me come out there in the street and he'd hold my hand and I was shooting his little Larson 25. And yeah, I got my hands on one and we was out playing basketball, man, and a friend of mine, his wound up going off and didn't shoot him, thank goodness. Man, I took mine and went and sold it. I got rid of that damn thing because it had that hair trigger on it and it would go off like that. Or it would jam. That's another thing, Ronnie, why I say this is the golden age of firearms. Because just about everything shoot now. Back in them days, shit, it was 50-50. Yeah, appreciate that, well dressed. You have to take your reflex out. I've shot a couple FNs. Yeah, man. Yeah, them Larsons, man. It's like I said, now you got a 95% chance of buying something that works. If you new to firearms, you guys and girls don't understand. Like Ronnie said about Larson, a lot of them companies ain't around. Man, you had a 50-50 chance of buying something that worked. That's why Glock became king amongst most people besides the rappers helping boost it. Because Glock ran every time you pulled the trigger. Everything else, man, you had about I want to say a 30-70 chance. You had about a 30% chance of buying something that actually ran. Intratec, Jimenez, High Point, Larson, Jennings. Man, there's probably so many of them that I done forgot about. Man, they was all damn junk. They was all junk. If you might have been one of the lucky people to buy a Tech 9 that didn't jam. You might have been one of the lucky people to get a Larson 380, 25 or 9mm that didn't jam. You might have been lucky to get that. Intratec, forget it. I mean, well, besides the Tech 9, them Tech 22s, forget it. Man, you might have been. You possibly was gonna buy something that worked. For y'all people that's new to firearms, back in the day, that's why a lot of old school people bought revolvers. Because we knew revolvers didn't jam. But semi-automatics, man, semi-automatics went through a lot of transformation going to strike a fire, you know. You had Walther, but most people didn't know about a Walther. Most people knew about Walther being a James Bond gun. Yeah, Tech 22s. You know what? The next time I see one, I've had several opportunities to buy one. I just thought I wasn't going to waste the damn money. Because that's all it is nostalgia. All it does is jam. When you pull the trigger. Yeah, you had to use expensive ammo, and you still was running a 50-50 chance of the damn thing not working, man. They ain't like now, man. Like I said, you can buy just about anything now. Now, was the Sky, the SCCY, I call it Sky. And maybe one other or two other guns you can buy that we know don't work. But just about everything else you buy, man, it's gonna go bang when you pull it out the box. Oh, appreciate that. SAR 9, yeah. You know what? At ARM 5, I shot the SAR 9 SOCOM. My goodness. I shot a couple of SARs out there, man. And I had never shot SAR before. I had heard of them, but I had never shot them. By the way, shout out to Diesel TV and Guns R Us, because those was the first two people I actually watched their channel before and heard about a SAR. I didn't know what the hell a SAR was, but yeah, man. So SAR, I talked to the CEO of SAR when I was at ARM 5, and he was saying that they was retooling the company because they was going to come after Canik. So just imagine Canik having a competitor that sell just as good firearms as them, as reliable. But on Bull Armory, I shot somebody's Bull Armory 2011 out there too. I'll tell you this. I know I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you've never fired a 2011 and you actually go fire one, you'll see why people were willing to spend that kind of money. My goodness, man. I think 2011 is when they come to 9mm, just my personal opinion. For people who have strength issues, you can buy them a 2011 and man, it's easy to wrap. The slide is like butter, and man, pulling the trigger, you don't even have to have recoil anticipation with them things, man. It's almost like shooting a 22. Man, I seen why they cost what they cost. Eventually I'm gonna get around to one. I'm gonna probably start with the Prodigy, but now that I see PSA done brought one out, and man, this 2011 market, in another 5 years, the prices of really good operating 2011s gonna be less than $1,000 because the market's starting to get flooded. Because you remember at one time, it was what, Staccato, some of these other upper echelon companies making 2011s. Now everybody getting in on the game, and I'm telling you, somebody's gonna come up with a 2011 that's less than $1,000. That's really good. No, I don't have a Prodigy. I got a chance to shoot one. Now, what I was told about the Prodigy is, when you first buy it, take it loose and polish it, and put it back together, and it'll run like a $2,500, $3,000 gun. That's what I've been told by several people I know that have them, and in a couple gun places. You know, like I said, I've shot a Prodigy. What's going on, 313 Mag Dumper? Yeah, that's what I've heard about the Prodigy though. You know, you do that 43X up or down. To be honest, I'm actually thinking about getting a 43X. I finally held one. When I was at a regular meetup, I didn't want to touch nothing that wasn't a 2011. I ain't gonna lie to you. On the day that everybody bought their guns out, I was like, I ain't gonna. I wound up shooting one Glock because it had got a lot of work done to it. Pops don't play. It was a flat shooting 17. Other than that, everything else I shot was 2011. That's what I went out there for. But a 43X, a couple weeks ago, I actually picked one up in the store. I was surprised. I'll say that. I've never shot a 43X. Eyes and Ears Tactical, man. He got him a nice one. What that was, that Radiant Ramjet. Okay. Yeah, I do plan on getting the 509 or the 510. The 545 Tactical. I'm looking forward to that firearm. If I get the 545 Tactical, 545 Tactical, and it runs without no issues, I'm gonna make that my home defense. Okay. It's probably cleaned it on jam. Yeah, I will say this. Let me say this to everybody. I know I talk a lot of shit and I mess with people that Glocks. I just do that just out of fun. At the end of the day, a Glock, for y'all young boys and young girls out there who don't know, a Glock is like a Tonka truck. They all look alike, but all they do is work and they damn near indestructible. For all my old heads, y'all know you can go on the third or the fourth floor and take a Tonka truck back then and chunk it off just throw it off the balcony. Go downstairs, pick it up, and just push it. And it'll keep on riding. The wheel won't even wobble. When it rained, you can go out there. You know, I'm from Louisiana, so it did a lot of raining, especially in the summertime. You can take your Tonka truck out there after in the rain with them big old puddles of water and push that damn Tonka truck through there and all that water. And that steel might look like it get rusted, but that wheel will keep turning with no problem. And that's what a Glock is. It's nothing pretty about it, but if you pick that booger up and you shoot it, it's gonna go. Yeah. That's it. So that's and another thing about a 43X2 is if you have to defend yourself with it and the police come and get it, well, you can always get another one of those because they all pretty much stock look alike. So, you know, you would have to do work to make it look different. But when you're talking about the 92X, the 92X Performance, or some of these other not so readily available firearms, yeah, you want to think about that, you know. That's why I said. Yeah, oh yeah, I remember Strap, Bokeem Woodbine and Fredro Starr. When old boy shooting the Mac and he and it's fully automatic. I remember Strap. I definitely remember Strap. Yeah. I remember Strap. I think that came out with 92, 93. Yeah, man. Hey, let me tell you something. That was a good movie about guns. That's a good one. You know what? That's a movie when it comes to guns that's almost as important as John Wick, but it never got the exposure because it didn't go to the theaters. It was an HBO original. For those of you who never seen the movie Strap, with Bokeem Woodbine and Fredro Starr, man, you guys and girls ought to go watch that movie. It delves into what guns was back then and the whole underground thing of how the guns got in the community and who you can buy them from. Yeah, man, Strap was a really good movie, man. And a lot of people, you know, like I said, it was an HBO original. It didn't go out in the theaters, but it's a really good movie. It's about firearms, straight up. Straight up about firearms, you know. And speaking of John Wick, I was watching that the other day. I tell you what, I wish they wouldn't have damn killed him off. You gotta bring him back to life. Some kind of serum or something, you gotta bring him back to life. Because for those of you who knew the firearms, John Wick is one of the most realistic movies when it comes to shooting guns. Now, part of it, I understand, is action. And part of it is movie. But a lot of it was realistic. Him running out of ammo and dropping the mag and putting another one in. Man, you know how many movies back in the days where guys would have a 6-shooter and shoot 30 rounds before they reload? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. So that's kind of what you got to think about, you know. It was very practical, and it taught you of an assassin unloading and reloading. Uh-oh. I'm not sure where you from. I see some old foreign writing. I can't repeat what you said because I don't know what it means. But yeah, man, Strap was a good movie. Strap was a really good movie. Heat, for those of you who remember, probably one of the most famous scenes ever is Heat when they robbing that bank. Sometime I go on YouTube just to watch that clip. When they come out of that bank, boy, and they get to banging it out with the police. That was definitely a good gun movie. Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico was really good gun movies. Antonio Banderas and Johnny Depp in the end. The last one, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Those some really good gun movies, you know. I definitely love to watch them gun movies. The Wild Bunch. For those of you who like to watch cowboy and Indian movies, more cowboy movies, The Wild Bunch. The uncut version, where you get to see all the killing. The Wild Bunch was another one. I loved watching that movie. I still watch it from time to time. You know, TMC Turner was it the TMC at Turner Movie Classics. Sometime I watch that. Well, I used to watch them old gangster pictures and shit, all the shootouts. I like all that type of stuff. I like all that gun action. You know, I love guns. You know, so with that being said, I was supposed to do 30 minutes and we've been over an hour. Me sitting here running my big mouth. I'm gonna let you guys and girls go and enjoy the rest of y'all night. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I just thought that I would do a live stream since I got so many comments about my SD40 and what have you, and just have a chop up with y'all about gun talk. You know, nothing kind of almost like an open floor, nothing too meat and potatoes. And man, I really appreciate you guys and girls for tuning in. Make sure that y'all are being safe this weekend, wherever you are in this country. I don't want to hear that nobody lost their life or what have you, as far as from the criminals or from the elements outside. So do whatever it is you need to do. If you are able to be legally armed, make sure you practice your Second Amendment rights. It is not illegal under the Constitution. And with that being said, till next time, everybody, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert.